It is Sunday once again, which means that it is time to talk about what has probably been one of the most amazing weeks in K-pop in 2015. So we're going to give you my favorites and we're going to talk about a couple other songs. So let's get it started. What is going on, everybody? My name is Nick from MWK Pop, and I want to welcome you back for another episode of the Hot Highlights. Of course, every week, every Sunday morning, we recap the last week in K-pop releases. I give you my favorites and we talk about some other songs. So this week was absolutely insane. We had a ton of absolutely fantastic releases from big groups, from new groups, and then we even had a couple of one pretty solid debut. And it just, this week had a little bit of everything you could possibly ask, and that is fantastic. So we've got a bit to talk about, so let's get it started with my 3 favorite songs of the week. The first song basically of the week that I absolutely fell in love with, and it actually happens to be the first release of the week that I ever listened to, was Day6's debut and their song Congratulations. Now, this is a rock group or a band kind of styled group coming out of, not really technically is not JYP, but we're just gonna say it's JYP because it's under his sublabel Studio J, which is supposed to give the groups and artists assigned to that a bit more creative freedom with the music that they're producing, and it's really, really awesome. So Day6 Congratulations and their debut album The Day is fantastic. It's a really good song, and I think that this album and this group, or the debut of this group, is really going to mark a point in, transition to something else, in a different way of making music and stuff like that, that's going to be, I guess, mashed together. And these like Day6 groups who are going to be groups that make their own music, and either they win or lose as far as having successful careers in K-pop based off of their own merits as musicians, and their own off of their own creative mind, and those groups are going to be fighting with the traditional K-pop groups, which perform the factory-made songs that the company gives them, and then they do the choreography and they perform on stage and they promote endlessly. So I think that Day6 and groups like GOT7, if we're just going to keep it within the JYP family there, that those are going to be 2 different styles of how the music is made and how they promote, and we're going to be seeing that come to the more of these Day6 kind of groups are going to be more popular coming up in the very in the next couple of years. And I think that's really exciting. It's going to be a really exciting thing. We're going to see a lot of, I think, really awesome and fun changes in K-pop, and JYP and YG, I think, are going to be the 2 companies that really get this moving. So not only because this is a good song, but just because of just the fact that these guys at least wrote the lyrics, and they may have had produced the music as well, composed the songs with a little bit of help from some JYP staff. But who knows exactly with that? I don't. But just based on the fact that these guys are artists and they are musicians as opposed to the performers that sing and dance in the rest of these K-pop groups, I absolutely love it, and these guys are fantastic. So they're artists first, they're artists and they make good music. I love it. I can't say, it would be silly of me to leave them out as a favorite group of mine. The second favorite song of the week, of course, I would be, again, crazy to leave out Red Velvet and their newest song, Dum Dum, from that. And just like, my God, Red Velvet is coming out with these hits, these songs that are just absolute hits. They just go off. And they debuted with Happiness, which from basically the very beginning of that song, it takes off and it goes, and it's crazy fun to listen to. Ice Cream Cake is the same exact way. It's got some really catchy bits to it, and it's the entire song is just gripping from start to finish. And then Dum Dum is the same way. You got the music track is crazy, and you got the vocals over it, which are just really, really which are really catchy. Of course, most of the song is basically just saying dum dum dum, however way that you want to say it, and it's just like, I don't know specifically what it is about the song that makes me love it, but I absolutely love it. And I really think that basically what it just comes down to is the amount of energy in this song. And any of these Red Velvet songs is just absolutely amazing. So just, oh my God. I mean, the song, I mean, it's really good. If you want to see like a good reaction to this and something like that, you definitely should watch my music video reaction. That gets across my, you know, my initial reaction, my initial feelings and thoughts and stuff like that as I watch that, because that, I think, is a better just way of describing it than me trying to, you know, think about and try to convey all of that. But basically, man, I was just speechless. It was just like, wow, Red Velvet, you've come out and you've done it again. You've given us another song that is just absolutely, again, full of energy. It's upbeat. It's just absolutely fantastic. And then they performed the hell out of it. They owned it. They made it theirs, and they owned the song, the concept, the music video, all of it. And just, you know, Red Velvet is absolutely fantastic. It doesn't help that they're from SM Entertainment, who are, you know, who basically started K-pop and made K-pop into what it is today, you know, years ago. So, you know, they've got some backing of probably the most knowledgeable people in the entire industry. And of course, you'd be expecting them to be coming out with some really fantastic music. So Red Velvet, Dum Dum, it's just fantastic. If you haven't listened to it, I want to know, what are you doing with your life? You definitely should listen to it. If you haven't, then you should go ahead and do it as soon as you're done watching this video. The third and final favorite song of the week is the first comeback of G.Soul and his song Crazy For You. And it's, again, this guy is another group or another artist who's signed under JYP's sublabel Studio J, which again is supposed to give them a bit more creative freedom with the music that they make. And I mean, it doesn't matter whether he made it or not. The fact of the matter is that this song is a really nice song. It's really, really fantastic. His voice in this song specifically is not so, this is more of a pop song, or it's more, you know, electronic and pop feeling than his debut song was, which is great. It's a change. You know, his debut was, I think, more to like showcase, like drop him on the scene and say like, look at this dude, he can sing. He's been doing this, you know, training for like his entire life, for about as long as I've been alive, I think it is. And he can sing. He's got a really awesome voice. He can do it all from low to high. He can do it. And then this comeback here is, I think, more supposed to be like we're actually given some, you know, making some music that is going to be more, you know, enjoyed by the masses, that if you were playing it at a shopping center or something like that, at a store, people would love it, and it wouldn't be so like, you know, people will be able to focus on it, and it's something like that. This is more of a song that you might hear as you're out shopping than his debut song was. Not necessarily something you would see, you would hear a lot, but it's just the way it is. And the guy is absolutely fantastic. He is really, really awesome. I don't know if he was one that came up with the idea for the music video for this song either, but considering the fact that, as far as I know, but I haven't looked at any English lyrics, but the title of the song is Crazy For You, kind of like I'm crazy in love with you. And the fact that the whole thing is like he is in, like, I don't really know, like an insane asylum or the psych ward at a hospital, and he's crazy, he's on meds, and he's in love with this girl, and they're gonna get married and stuff like that. But it basically, at the end of the video, it's just like they're both, you know, the crazy people sitting at opposite ends of a table, basically just staring at each other, and they were just like, you know, they're just drugged up and they don't know a damn thing about what's going on. But in their minds, or in his mind, or something like that, you know, they're going through this whole thing, this whole story and process, and, you know, he's acting out his, you know, feelings for her, which is an absolutely fantastic thing, and the imagery behind with it is crazy and weird and an interesting way to get the whole story across. It's just absolutely fantastic. And again, like we said with his debut song, his voice is absolutely fantastic. It was, in this song, it really reminded me a lot of Zion T, and the way, you know, the way that he sings with that, just that general feel. Fantastic. And I said in my music video reaction, like, I would love to see G.Soul and Zion T collaborate. And then I had a commenter on my video say, oh my god, if G.Soul, Zion T, and Crush had a collaboration song together, would that be like the most amazing thing ever? And I have to say, the three of them getting together to make a song would be amazing. I have to say, it just would be stunning. I think it would be. So if that happens, that would be insane. Who knows exactly if that's going to be something that they're interested in doing. At the very least, I would love to see any of those three people paired up together to make a song with G.Soul or Crusher Zion T. One of those guys I would love to see collaborate with G.Soul to make a song. It would be great. It would be fantastic. So there you go. Those are my three favorite songs of the week. We got Day6 and Congratulations, Red Velvet, Dum Dum, and as we just talked about, G.Soul and his song Crazy For You. So we got a couple other songs to talk about real quick before we're done, so let's get into it. So now that we gave you my three favorite songs of the week, it's time to talk about some other songs that didn't quite make it to my favorites, but definitely are notable to talk about. So we're going to talk about Monsta X and 17 in the same part with the same exact words, because from their debut to their first comeback, they haven't changed anything really in the way and style that they do things, which is fantastic because their debut songs were pretty great. And I think that's a really good, indicator that their debut style was something that people absolutely loved, and they're continuing to go with that, and that's fantastic. You don't see very often, I think, groups that find their identity with their debut song. It certainly, I think it does definitely take a little bit of evolving or a couple of releases from a group to find what it is exactly that they want to do, that the people like, that fans like us like seeing them do. And I think that 17 and Monsta X have found it. Certainly Monsta X have absolutely had one of the best debuts that any group in K-pop will ever have, because they ended up performing at KCON LA, and that's definitely something you won't see very often, I don't think. Maybe it will be something you see more often in the future as a way for companies to promote their groups. But, Monsta X has developed an absolutely huge fan base, and, the fans are very, very passionate. 17 as well has got a decently sized fan base, and they're full of passionate people. So, it would be silly for the company to change them. And second, we got to talk about Uptension, this boy group that made their debut with, I don't even remember what their song was, So Dangerous. And I don't quite know what it is with the boy groups these days and their debuts, but these guys are coming out and they're not looking like they are rookies, right? They're performing with, the crispness, like their moves are sharp, the music videos are produced well, they don't look cheap and all that stuff. They've got that K-pop style and aesthetic and quality down perfectly. And the guys just perform it as well. They got that attitude, like they've done this before. They've been around for a few years. They know what they're doing, and they perform the hell out of it. And Uptension, they're another group just like that. A6P in the beginning of the year made a debut. They did it well. They have some absolutely fantastic choreography bits. There's some that are a bit cheesy, but that's the kind of the choreographer's fault, not particularly their fault. They performed the hell out of their song. Uptension have just made their debut with So Dangerous, and they've got some pretty awesome choreography, and they are just sharp as hell with their choreography. I mean, like, I would dare to say SM levels of sharp with their choreography, and the choreography is absolutely fantastic. So Uptension and So Dangerous, a fantastic debut, and I just really cannot get over how absolutely amazing, and like, these guys don't look like rookies to me. I mean, they really don't, and that is amazing, and that's a good thing too, because that's means that they're not really going to go through that whole stage of kind of figuring it out as they go and getting comfortable and acclimated to performing and releasing good stuff, which means that they're just going to hit the ground as they've done, and they're hit the ground running and go to their first comeback, and they're just going to do it like they've been there before, which is fantastic. So there you go. Those are the groups I want to talk about as a little bit extra for my favorites, and that is basically it. That's the recap of last week. I think that is basically all of the important releases that came out last week. So that is it. I want to know, what were your favorites? What were your favorite releases of the week? Who were they, of course, and why? Put them down in the comment box below. I really want to hear what you have to say. Also, get connected with me on social media. You can follow me on Twitter, Instagram, anything else. I got links to those down in the description. Click on that. Click those links. Give me a follow. It is much appreciated. So that is going to be it for this video. As always, I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Goodbye.